Some characters take the hits, suffer in silence, and move on like nothing happened.
Our Linda certainly does know her way around a pork. What's the matter, Butters?
Nothing, Dad. Just a little gassy.
Others reach a point where they just completely snap and stand up to their abusers.
I'm home. You're all my bitches now.
Okay.
But in the darkest cases, the victim doesn't just defeat their abuser, they f***ing become one. But you'll find out about how that works soon enough. Starting off our list, we have the one kid whose entire show centers around just how tortured he is for absolutely no reason. Timmy Turner is an average kid that is not that hard to understand, despite what the intro sequence would tell you. He's a 10-year-old kid with a pink hat who has to go to school, deal with his annoying parents, and manage crushing on a girl that's way out of his f***ing league. I mean, pretty standard prepubescent life, isn't it? What isn't f***ing standard is the chainsaw-wielding maniac his dimwit parents decided to hire as his f***ing babysitter. I'm not kidding either. This woman is so evil, Timmy literally can't handle her being nice. That's where Cosmo and Wanda come in, as the only people that can make his life even moderately or remotely bearable. That's not even an exaggeration either, because remove Cosmo and Wanda, and all you've got is a 10-year-old kid fighting for his life every day because his f***ing parents are too brain dead to realize that they're leaving their kid alone with an aspiring serial killer. Now, for those of you who haven't watched the show, it's mental just how comically evil this red-headed devil is. She locks him in a dungeon, gives him swirlies, and runs the kid through chores so intense you have to wonder if the Turners even clean their f***ing house. And his parents come home and find their son battered, bruised, and barely standing, and yet they still pay Vicky for her time. Absolutely f***ing mental. And you might be wondering why Timmy doesn't just tell his parents about this shit. Well, that's simply because they don't care. In the episode Vicky Gets Fired, Timmy decides enough is enough and gets Cosmo and Wanda to compile video evidence of everything Vicky has done to her. You'd think after presenting the f***ing torture catalogue to these two, they would finally do something about this psychotic woman. And they just don't care. I'm not exaggerating, they just literally don't f***ing care.
What? I don't believe it!
Finally!
I know. Those toilets have never looked so clean.
And to be honest, it's not like this is the only time his parents have shown the absolute rubbish this woman gets up to when they abandon their son. But the only other time was when Tootie had enough of her crush getting abused and decided to do something about it. This is the one time when Timmy tries to give Vicky her just desserts, and it goes nowhere. And even when they do fire her later on in the episode, she somehow lands on her feet and comes out better off than before. But hey, the kid gets points for trying at least. For a 10-year-old, that takes real guts. Despite that though, he was only heard because of a coincidence that had nothing to do with him. And he needed two magical fairy godparents propping him up the entire time just to get that far. But not everybody needs a fire-breathing beast of a teenage girl to be considered abused. And even then, this can easily feel so much worse than a red-headed maniac could ever hope to be. Take Connie Maheshwaran, who doesn't have a Vicky in her life. Instead, she has a mother who loves her so much that the love becomes a soul-sucking cage that you can't even begin to imagine how to get out of.
Called it. Hi, Mother, it's Connie. Yes, ma'am. I'm at the home of Steven Universe. Yes, ma'am. We're just hanging out.
If you can't tell, things have already gotten dark, and they're only gonna get worse. Connie's mum, Dr. Priyanka Maheshwaran, isn't some kind of villain or some insane pile of flaming spiked crap like Vicky is. That's actually the whole point of her character. She's just a doctor and a mother, and she's easily one of the most intelligent and driven people in the whole show. And ranked #1 on her list of goals is to give her daughter the best possible life. But the best possible life in her mind means violin practice on schedule, study hours, dogmas that are non-negotiable, rules for everything, and absolutely zero room for Connie to make her own decisions about who she is or what she does with her time. So pretty much the average Asian kid's daily schedule. But just because she's doing what she thinks is best for her daughter doesn't mean that she's giving her daughter a good life. Keep in mind, she has no clue about the crystal gems or the fact that her daughter has spent months sword training under Pearl, and that's not just to protect her. It's because Connie doesn't trust her mother to take that piece of news, hell, any piece of news, well. Connie would rather wear empty frames to school than tell her mother that Stephen healed her eyes months ago, because she just has no interest in the conversation that will follow.
What am I going to tell my parents? What am I going to tell my optometrist?
Naturally, being in that situation makes you want to tear your own face off, if it means that it would let you get out of that constant cycle of aggressive love. So, naturally, Connie, who's already stressed out enough from daily fights and teenage hormones, decides that enough is enough and steps up. And it all starts in Nightmare Hospital, where Dr. Maheshwaran confiscates Rose's sword and takes it to the hospital where she works. Other than the fact that it's annoying to have your taken by overbearing parents, it's probably also a bad idea to leave an immensely powerful alien artifact in the hands of a middle-aged mother.
No playing with swords under any circumstances. This is Dr. Maheshwaran. Yes, calm down, Stromberg.
So Connie and Stephen sneak in to get it back and end up fighting off corrupted gem experiments in the process. Of course, after fighting for your life against murderous abominations of life itself, you're not really in the mood to pretend to give a shit about your mother not approving of your life choices. So she explodes about everything. From her fixed eyesight to the bloody crystal gems, she spills the beans on everything.
I'm really sorry about lying to you. It started off as a tiny secret, and then it felt like if I didn't hide it, you wouldn't let me see Stephen ever again.
Is that how you feel? Are we too controlling?
And she's not saying this because she wants her mother's approval either. No. Connie wants to help protect the Earth, and she's going to do it even if her mother's going to ground her until her hair turns grey. And you'd think after a reality-shattering revelation like that, her mother would have a crazed reaction to protect her daughter. It'd actually be expected for her to react like that, especially, given what we know about her. But no. Rightfully so, Dr. Maheshwaran realizes that her daughter almost died fighting monsters that she never knew existed. And the only reason she didn't know they existed was because her daughter was too scared shitless to tell her anything about it.
We'll pull back on the rules, and I'll try to keep an open mind about this, and that, and him.
Now, despite how terrible this is, Connie's mum just had her best interests at heart, and considering that Connie at least looks a lot more free going forward, it's fair to say that this moment was an eye-opener for her. So it's safe to say that this ended in a happy ending. But that's probably one of the last times we'll talk about a happy ending in this video, especially as we move on to Helga Pataki from Hey Arnold. We'll be real with you. Right after Horrid Henry, this show is near and dear to the Not Fair family, and we're pretty sure that every single one of you spent at least part of your childhood thinking Helga was just an annoying bully who needed to mind her own business and leave Arnold alone. And trust us, we were right there with you, right until the huge turning point that made everyone see her as a brand new character. Helga Pataki survived in a neglectful home since before she was old enough to attend school, and she's been doing it completely on her own. This girl was so neglected by her deadbeat father that she literally had to walk to her first day of school under the pouring rain by herself.
I'm going to preschool.
What do you know? 1 minute flat. You're amazing, Olga.
I'm going to preschool.
Her dad, Bob, is this enormous blowhard who can barely remember how old she is on a good day. Her mum, Miriam, is addicted to some mystery smoothies that we're sure smells like something even a bartender would be scared to sell. But neither of these two are the bane of Helga's existence. No, that would be her older sister, Olga. We've all had that sibling, right? That one sibling that does everything you struggle to do so effortlessly that you start feeling worthless. That one sibling that just seems to get all of the love and the attention. Or maybe you are that sibling. Whatever the case, you certainly know the type, and that'd be Olga. perfect Olga, with the grades and the manners and the piano recitals, who has absorbed every scrap of attention and pride either parent ever had available.
You look great.
I feel great. Toodles, Helga. How's my baby sister? You're growing into quite a lovely young lady.
Yeah, I'm a real beauty.
She sucked up so much attention that 3-year-old Helga has to find her way through the streets to get to her first day of school ever. Her parents were so absorbed watching Olga play piano in the living room that they didn't notice their other daughter had put her coat on and walked out the front door. So, little Helga, still basically a toddler, walks herself to school in the pouring rain. A passing car splashes mud all over her. A massive dog steals her lunch. After going through one hell of an adventure and through some f***ing miracle, not getting nabbed off the street by some creep or worse, she shows up to school looking like she's been through a washing machine. And when she finally gets there, soaking wet and completely alone, that's when Arnold holds an umbrella over her head and says something kind about her boat. One act of basic human decency from a kid she had never met, and it was the first time in her entire short life that anyone had made her feel like she was worth noticing. That's the moment that she fell for the football head and driving force for her bullying obsession all these years.
Hi, nice bow. Huh? I like your bow because it's pink like your pants.
But we didn't know any of this when we first watched the show. Nah, she was just that one annoying girl that couldn't seem to mind her own damn business. She kept all of this locked inside for years, probably not telling a single soul or even confiding in her closest friends. And everyone, audience and characters alike, all probably thought that she was nothing but an annoyance that deserved to be forgotten. That's until Helga on the Couch, the season 5 episode where someone takes a look at Helga and realizes she's got a lot of baggage buried under that angry blonde hair of hers. A school psychologist named Dr. Bliss notices that there's clearly something very wrong with this child and works to make Helga feel like she has a safe space to talk. And so, Helga talks. She tells her whole life story to this woman, and watching her slowly recount everything that she's been through, like she's talking about a show she watched last week, is kind of heartbreaking. And you can tell how detached she is from the whole thing, how much she just doesn't care anymore. Not once in her life has she just been able to open up and be free, making this the first time she's ever told another person that things at home are not okay.
Everyone needs to be noticed. Otherwise, life would be terribly lonely.
You got that right.
Your mom doesn't notice you?
My mom? My mom wouldn't notice me if I was an alien pod person chanting Hare Krishna and...
Unlike the others, who found the strength to push past their trauma and stand up to their abusers, Helga doesn't really do that. She just has someone listen to her woes. It doesn't fix her problems, and it damn well won't get those smoothies out of her mum's hands. But maybe that little bit is enough. Is someone cutting onions in here? Well, whoever it is should knock it off, because we're not even done with the tearjerkers just yet. Hell, this next one might even be worse than all of the others combined. Meg Griffin has been Family Guy's punching bag since 1999, and I mean that in the most literal sense possible.
Dad, I can't go through the vent.
Yeah, she's right. We need to grease her up so she doesn't get stuck. Everybody spit on Meg.
Stop! You got... Stop! Okay. I meant I can't do it because there are burglars down there.
Come on, they're not gonna touch you. You're covered with spit.
Be careful, Meg.
I hate you all!
Hey, I hate you too, bitch. Oh, no, I'm just kidding. Can you imagine?
We don't know whose f***ing bright idea it was, but Meg was for some reason designated as the show's rubbish bin for cheap jokes and violence. It's been shown in multiple, increasingly creative ways that her parents don't give a damn about her. She's so desperate to get some sort of affection that she'd gladly receive it from anyone. And we mean everyone.
I have to tell you something, Adam. My dog is going to expose our relationship to the press.
Well, so what?
that we haven't done anything wrong.
And we can't forget the fact that her own father's favourite catchphrase is telling her to shut up.
Brian's the new Meg. Yeah, you're the new me.
Shut up, Meg.
And when she finally speaks up about her problems, she realises that the people around her are so used to abusing her that they literally can't function without putting her down.
That maybe it's just my lot in life to provide. Maybe if I feel bad, they don't have to.
You know, that's incredibly noble and mature, Meg.
So all that noise. Unlike the others who stood up to their abusers and finally put an end to that bullshit, Meg deserves more than that. She needs to show her family just how bad being the punching bag really is. And that's exactly what happened in the episode Dial Meg for Murder, where Meg finally gets a chance to put everyone in their place. After getting caught harbouring her prison pen pal boyfriend, Luke, who has escaped, she gets sent to a woman's correctional facility as a result, and comes back looking like she got personal training from Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
I'm home. You're all my bitches now.
Okay.
Immediately, she shows everyone that she's not the same Meg that they used to pick on. She's done with that bullshit, and she's ready to show them all that she's the man of the house now.
Who's the biggest, toughest guy in this house?
Well, I don't like to toot my own horn, but I believe I hold the distinction.
My house now, bitch!
But her family isn't enough for her. A lot of people have been too much of a pain in the ass for Meg for far too long. So when she gets to school and Connie and her goons try to restart the same rubbish they're used to, she once again shows them who's in charge.
Hey Meg, what'd they put you in jail for? Being ugly?
Hey Meg, did you get out early for fat behavior?
Okay, not the greatest approach, sure, but it works, I guess. Anyways, after this, people will definitely think twice before with Megatron.
All right, he doesn't know what he's doing. You fatso, punch your baby in the face.
I did good, Meg.
Shut up.
I did good.
But as satisfying and liberating as all of these examples are, I don't think anyone can really top someone literally standing up to the devil himself. Maybe devil isn't really an appropriate word here. How about an interdimensional demon god with the power to destroy the world? We all know Raven, the emotionless emo of the Teen Titans squad. She's not the devil. Well, she can be if you piss in her cereal or irritate her too much, but no. We're talking about her father, Trigon, and who'd spent her entire existence treating her like a piece of equipment he was waiting to switch on. Yeah, there was absolutely no comparison. Nothing on this list even remotely comes close here. Trigon and Raven are weird. It doesn't even feel right to call him her father, but he built her with the sole purpose of letting her grow up and reach 16 years of age so he could use her to open a portal that he'd stepped through so he could consume everything that existed. Yeah, we would personally say that is way more life-shattering than having an overprotective mum. To make it all worse, she kept all of it from the Titans for years, because what do you even say to that? What can you even do about that? Her whole life is tied to that, even down to her emotions. Yeah, for the few in the room that didn't know, that's why she's so emotionless. Not because she doesn't care, but because the more expressive she gets, the more Trigon's influence leaks through. So the best way to curb all of that is to suppress everything, both good and bad. How do you even bloody deal with that? I guess you just can't. And that's what makes the moment where Raven does confront it all the more satisfying. In the season 4 episode Birthmark, Slade shows up on her 16th birthday and burns Trigon's mark directly into her skin. It's crazy how despite everything she's done to fight back her father's influence, the moment she turns 16, just like f***ing clockwork, the end begins.
What you have concealed, you shall become. You have no other choice. The message will be delivered. Your destiny shall be fulfilled.
Then everything comes to a head once the end trilogy begins, because Raven has fought for so long to make sure that this doesn't happen. But there's only so much you can do to fight back an interdimensional being. So, right on cue, Raven becomes the portal. And as if nothing she's ever done matters, Trigon walks through. It wouldn't be an apocalypse to say that's the start of the apocalypse. And what happens to Raven after she's served her purpose? She's reduced to a child version of herself, with no memory and no powers, wondering what is left of Jump City, while her father sits in Titan's Tower, like he owns the place. To be fair though, at that point he literally does. Quick side note by the way, where the f*** are the other interdimensional superheroes when all of this shit is happening? Is Superman just taking a vacation? Maybe Batman's too busy tonguing the Joker to care. Whatever. What matters is that Raven comes back. She wouldn't be on the list if she didn't, right? Robin finds her and reminds her of who she is, pushing away what she was made for. And with that newfound strength, she steps up to face Trigon for the last time.
Your master, you exist only to serve me. You survive only. What hope can a mere child have of defeating her all-powerful father?
She takes every single thing she spent her whole life being told to bury, all the light, all the warmth, all the emotion that was apparently too dangerous for her to be allowed, and she burns him into nothing with it. It's so satisfying seeing the thing that she struggled to suppress for so long be what liberates her from his control. It's exactly what destroys him. And that's just f***ing beautiful. I'll admit guys, no one's cutting onions. The whole bloody studio is just crying right now. These moments show that whatever you're going through, whatever is going on, you can fight back against the abusers in your life. It could be people, it could be addiction, or for us, it could be YouTube's bloody algorithm. Anyways, like and subscribe while we head out to buy more tissues for the crew. Cheerio!